da. Big finish. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back to the live stream. I'm Christopher Dahl. Thank you for all for the likes and subscribes. I appreciate it. We had a whole crowd here tonight. Thank you so much. Hello, Jean-Marc and Rhonda, and thank you for being here. Iridium, hi. And I did see your notes there earlier, Nadu. I was testing some of the features in chat, and I accidentally sent your message into oblivion. So but I made sure you weren't blocked if you're actually here. But hey, welcome back to Wednesday night. Welcome to the fine studio here. And we're at the drawing table. I thought maybe tonight we would just go ahead and, get back to the basics a little bit. I haven't painted a good space scene in a while, so just sort of in the mood to cut loose, and this will be a nice break from all the action, won't it? I think you'll agree. Oh, hey, Edward Bartlett's here. Hello, and a tasty whale. Hey, greetings, everyone. I've been loving the feedback in the Discord channel. I know I'm terrible at keeping that going, but I do look at Discord, and that it makes me smile. So thank you for participating, everybody. And in fact, let me make sure I've got that dropped into the links here, shall we? Where's the Discord? Boop-a-doo, there we go. One of these days I probably should shovel my butt over and get Streamlabs working again properly with my YouTube channel, but I'm not too worried about it. We can get it done. So there's the link in the chat on the Discord. If you're watching this later, join on in. And hey, if you are watching for the first time, I am Christopher Dahl, space artist. Hey, I like to paint science fiction and astronomy things, and this is where it all kind of started on Twitch and YouTube. Was what you're gonna see tonight. We're gonna paint kind of a sci-fi scene in space using a paint called Casein, which is a really a wonderful paint. Actually, it was previously used by advertising artists before gouache took over, but it's got a lot of the same qualities, and it's kind of fun to work with. Susan Trips is here. Hello. Thank you all. Hey, and if you're following along on Patreon, I've been trying to keep up with some of the fun things going on, and you probably could see just sort of how ADHD the projects work here. I've spun up so many things, and there's still one project. I was hoping to have the video released this week, but I need to. It's almost there. That's what I keep saying about all of them. It's almost there. No, it's a model project, and it's going to be, it'll be pretty interesting. I need to really just drop the blade on it and finish it off. I'll just leave it at that. But hey, let's get to work on some of the stuff here. I have my old drawing table back, and my camera, I think, is set up properly. Hold on. Dropped my light remote. Oh my gosh. So yeah, as always, let me know if you can't, music's too loud, too soft. I'm gonna fire up some Spotify here. Oh, I shouldn't even, whoa, that is way loud. Hello. We'll bring this back on. I just wanted a little background music, so let me know if this is too crazy loud, or if you can even hear it at all. I obviously don't want to be drowned out by it. So, okay, let's head on over to the art table, shall we? Alrighty here. We have, let me just get some things hooked up. It's always for me, every week is a little bit of an adventure in setting up the live stream. So, but yeah, I'm getting the hang of it. The camera mounts are working out pretty good. We'll see. Oh my gosh, there's another one of those damn stink bugs in here. We've been getting a lot of those. It's barely warmed up and they're all waking up. The ones that look like giant aphids. I forget their technical name. Hey, Wes is here. Greetings. Happy hump day. Welcome aboard, Wes. Absolutely. Funny story, those little bugs landed on one of the paintings I was varnishing out in the on the other part of the room. So varnish is like a clear resin, right? I think this guy landed on it and just drank a bunch of wet resin because he died on the painting and was petrified. Like he'd filled his entire system with resin. I mean, I felt bad, but at the same time, it was hilarious. I think I need to incorporate that in some future artworks, right? Gosh, an entire painting made from bug carcasses. Hello, H.R. Giger. Yay. Okay, let me move this on over. So I'm going to do a little sketch first, but let's set it up. For all the new folks who... Are there new folks? I'm pretty sure we're all regulars here. You probably all know the drill for this. But in case, what a way to go, right? I've just drink resin and then you freeze up. Yeah, there was actually an old instructor in the industrial design school. He was more of the wood furniture person, dealt with a lot of chemicals, and as he used to say, with all the exposure to resins and polymers and lacquers, he may die, but he'll never degrade. Anyway, so let's introduce you to this. I've got the paint I'm using, and this is not a sponsored stream, so but it is good paint. There we go. It's by the Richardson Company, Casein. So it comes out thick, a lot like an acrylic or a heavy body acrylic. Maybe a little bit medium body would be closer to it. It's water soluble, so you can work with it like acrylic, gouache, watercolor, what have you. But the cool thing about this paint is once it dries, it won't reactivate with water the same way gouache or watercolor would. It acts more like acrylic. And the history of this is one of my favorite artists, one of the artists that has inspired me to go down this route, John Berkey. He used to use a specialized version of Casein and acrylic. I've never mixed my own between the two. You get advantages of both. That was his jam. I have no idea behind the science of it. I might try it at some point though. But anyway, that's how we got onto this. And the artist James Gurney, who you're probably familiar with the Dinotopia books. He also publishes a whole lot of books on painting and illustration in general. Really good stuff. If you're interested, definitely seek out James Gurney. In particular, he has some wonderful books on color and light with painting and illustration that are fantastic. I will give him a shout out. Again, I'm not sponsored, but definitely a good place to go. James Gurney. Rhonda, you got those books. Awesome. Yeah. I can't remember if he won the lawsuit against George Lucas or Lucasfilm for kind of cribbing the look of Naboo, in particular with the Gungans. It looked pretty much like Dinotopia straight out. I mean, there's like no question. Little intense borrowing, I think, was going on. But yeah, okay. So what we're gonna paint this on is this is made by Crescent. It's illustration board. Basically, it's a thick matte board that has a Bristol surface to it, which means it's great for drawing. It's pretty solid. This is about the most you can get away with in flexibility when you're painting with Casein. It doesn't take well to canvas at all. Because it dries fairly brittle, you risk cracking the surface. Oh, you've heard of them when you were in college? Yeah, they were pretty popular for a while. I think he's done a number of books. And he has some great videos and tutorials on. He used to build models of the cities that he was painting and drawing, and models of the dinosaurs and little trucks and things, or carts and things that would go in. So you build the models, light them, and then basically illustrate them, paint them what's the word I'm looking for? Like a still life, right? So really cool stuff. I want to incorporate some of that in my upcoming drawing videos, especially when we get into drawing the spaceships one. I'm working on how to draw Star Trek ships, and I think since I have plenty of models, it'd be worth going into. All right, so he has a new updated Sketching from Life book out. Oh, cool! Yeah, good for him. I adore James Gurney's work, and he used to share a lot more of his plein air painting on like his Instagram channel and stuff. But yeah, let me put this back. So yeah. I forgot. I was going to show everybody. I have my drawing table back. Yay! All of the marks you see on here are the ones that we've developed over the years together. Yes. I don't use this enough. Okay, so what am I going to paint here? I'm going to do a little sketch with a Prismacolor peacock blue, because as you know, I like blue. I was kind of into Angus McGee. Yeah, Angus McGee, I think is his name. Artist from heavy metal era. He had kind of a particular fashion look to him, and I was kind of thinking to myself, I'd like to revisit an old digital painting I did way, way back. Probably about 2012, way back. Yeah, exactly. Well, 13 years ago, that does it. When I was first making the call to brush up on my skills, I decided I would crank out an older Wacom tablet that I had, and just see what I could do with Photoshop. I was already skilled at Photoshop, and I understood how to paint with it. But I drew this space station with a ship approaching it, and it really kind of, I just sort of went loose with it. It was very, very loose. It's not a finished illustration at all. It's on my website someplace. I'll see if I can dig it up in a little bit. And I always wanted to revisit it later. I figured, yeah, why not? Let's revisit it and give it a little character that maybe we wouldn't have had before. So I'm going to put a space station over here, and I'm going pretty light on purpose. So let me at least block out the space station first. In this painting, I want to... this is going to be like a reimagining of something like Deep Space Nine or Babylon 5. A deep space station that isn't, maybe it's attached to a planet, maybe not, but it's where people go, different races, different species, that sort of thing. So, hey, Cameron, how you doing tonight? Greetings. Yeah, just getting rolling to it, Cameron. We're gonna do a little illustrated sci-fi spacey theme. So I've just got to get the drawing out first. I was initially inspired by a ship design that was in the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movie. The humans had this ship that was a really curious cruciform. I liked it a lot. So the idea is they would have these arms that would almost complete a circle, right? Like, so if I did a big ellipse, I think that's going to be about where I need it to be. Yeah, and then the same kind of thing down here. Get this up here. I am drawing kind of at an angle here again, so that part's not too cool, but I'll figure it out. I want some reference ellipses so that I get my ellipses right. Because I tell you what, when you're doing stuff like this, if you don't get the ellipses right, you throw the whole thing off. It's just no good. All right, I got that in there. So there's a core element to the space station. This is kind of like, I imagine, this is, anything down here is probably where all the dangerous engineering stuff, all of the power supplies and things like that occur. I'm going to just get a little drawing in here. Let's give it some depth. I was thinking about it. I draw like this a lot. If I'm doing semi-cylindrical objects, I'll draw through like a skeleton almost to see what's going on in the background. This one actually needs to be flatter. And to me, it helps me work on the geometry. This is a good industrial design practice, right? I recall when I was at Kendall College of Art and Design, I had a drawing teacher. I was required to take a certain number of fine art classes, and even though I'd already gone through a pile of drawing classes when I was at Western Michigan and a few other places, I was still obligated to take this drawing class. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'll take another drawing instructor that I've never met. It's a required class anyway, so, let's go ahead and do this. And I got this teacher who just didn't like me. She was actually the head of the print shop, like they did traditional printing, right? And I figure they probably gave her the Drawing 2 course the same way that your golf teachers in high school ended up teaching biology or something, right? So the golf coach is teaching biology, way out of his element. This woman could draw, don't get me wrong, but she just absolutely did not like me. 2001-ish, Da-da-da. Is it the one that looks like a spike with this? Very Cameron. Yes, that's the one. You know the one. You referring to the Planet of the Apes one. Yeah, it looks like a circle close to the top. Maybe. Yeah, that's the one. So I like that design, and I've kind of used it before in other places. We're gonna go with it here. So anyway, this woman was the worst art teacher I think I had, and it's really unfortunate because she was tenured at Kendall and clearly talented in her own right, but she had no business teaching drawing whatsoever, and we clashed. She questioned my ability to draw, and questioned that I actually learned to draw. I mean, she was just nasty. You know, she'd pull a lot of crap with me too. It was a very frustrating class. But what made me think about it is, and the thing that drove her nuts about it, was I was doing all of this kind of, figuring out what we were working on, figuring out what the geometry was of the bowling balls or, styrofoam balls or vases that she had set up as our still life. Typical drawing class stuff. It's no big deal there. And I would just be sorting out the geometry. She's like, why are you drawing tornadoes everywhere? This is ridiculous. And I'm like, the fact that you don't understand what I'm doing, even if I'm getting things wrong, tells me that you really have no business teaching drawing. Yeah, I wasn't her most favorite student. Anyway, just me rambling. What the heck? So yeah, I'm gonna try to get something that is similar and in that vein, if you will. All right, let's see if we can get the. That's one of my irritations. Crappy drawing and art teachers. That makes me nuts. Just full of arrogance and whatever. My art teacher was thankfully a great person to study under. It felt more like an apprenticeship. Good. Because I was also a student worker in the art building. That's perfect. Honestly, every other art teacher I had at Kendall, brilliant. And honestly, I'll say the same thing for every other art teacher I had when I was briefly at Western Michigan University. Fantastic. Leaps and bounds above this person. I can't account for why this person had the job, to be honest with you. But it's funny because when I think back to my life now, my one memory of the worst teacher you had happens to be at the college that charged the most money. Oh well, wah. I'm sure she's incredibly popular and well set off now. Oh, I don't know. She was using a lot of print materials, so maybe she rotted the same way that bug rotted off my painting. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. I'll just lost me pencil. Sorry, folks, bear with me. Sharpening the pencil. Also something that you don't have to worry about when you're working digitally. But, yeah, digital's no fun. No, I'm just kidding. Digital's fine. In fact, I'm actually working a lot of digital stuff right now. I'm working on J. Fitzpatrick Malden's next book, which is very, very cool, and I'm very, very late on it. So hey, if you're watching, I promise, I'm really working on it. I swear. Man, I picked the wrong year to quit drinking. Jesus. She probably had her niche of core students that she groomed. Actually, no, she kind of did. She had she had sort of a cadre of fans, right? And one of them was kind of a friend of mine that I had in multiple classes. And I went up to her and said, "What's going on with this teacher? What, is she terrible or what?" And she was like, "No, I have her for my print stuff, and honestly, she's just fine with that." But and even she said, "Yeah, I don't know what she's doing. It's really unusual." So I don't know. Maybe she just didn't like me. I don't mean that to be like paranoid, but the reality is, if you walk into someone's life and you look or resemble somebody they absolutely hate, you're gonna have a tough time with that person. Wes says, I had a horrible art teacher in SFA in Texas, told my drawing was soulless and too realistic. One time he grabbed a pencil out of my hand and snapped it in two and threw it at me. Whoa, hello. Oh, yeah, she never, this one never threw anything at me. But you know, I'm pretty heavy-handed with my drawing, and we were drawing in charcoal, and she was getting so mad. I'm like, fine, I'll lighten up. And then she's like, but you're not using vine charcoal. I don't have any vine charcoal. Well, it was on your material list. Go down to the store and get some vine charcoal. I don't know, folks, if you've ever used vine charcoal before, but it's like when your grandmother had a cigarette that basically, you know, she let it run, and it was like this long line of, you know, a line about this long of ash. That's about what it's like to draw with vine charcoal. So, of course, I was breaking it every 2 seconds trying to get the class project done, and I did. I slammed my case and said, fuck you, I'm out. Sorry, language. Yeah. I'm sure you'll get over it. Not worth any of that sense drama she wanted. Oh, I know, yeah. Oh, vine charcoal, right, Rod. It snaps if you breathe on it wrong. I was like, all right. She reminded me of the surfer in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. All right, no, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You know, trying to teach him to surf. Get up. Nope, you're doing too much. So yeah, for whatever reason, I was a terrible, terrible person. I'm a nice guy. Come on, I'm a nice guy. No, and I never shoot my mouth off about anything. Yeah, it's the light stuff that's awful too. No, I do actually have vine charcoal. It's probably from that class, and you know, it's come in handy for like 3 things in my entire art career. So, you know, it all depends on what you want out of your art, really. All right, I'm just gonna try to shorten this up as it goes into the corner here, because we're gonna be rapidly. Okay, this is the one I always get stressed about is the edges here. Okay, no, we got it. We're gonna bring it back around. We're gonna bring it back around nicely. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna like zonk it off like right here. There we go. Yeah. You know, it's funny. You know, I haven't thought about this teacher in like, I don't know, 20 years. So yeah. But and then, you know, just silly things like that come up every now and then. I don't know. It just my brain works in different ways. I have a lot of unresolved angst about my art. I guess. All right. Well, I'm just having fun with this. So are we? We'll get to the paint. Trust me. The station's a hugger. It's reaching out, right? It's like, please come join us. Come join us. Come down to the dark. What is it? What was it? It said, "Come to." Oh, anyway, I forget. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen it, and like, I don't think I've actually seen the latest ones. But yes, it's reaching out to say hi. And, you know, maybe like 2001, maybe we'll make this like it's continuing on and it has construction. You know, right? Like there's little bits. They're not done building the thing yet. There we go. That'll be fun. Alrighty. I do like this. This what do you call it? This illustration board with Prismacolors. You can really kick out some very cool paintings, right? So we're gonna make this kind of the open. What do you call it? Like the hangar base. Chris, speak. Don't forget to speak, sir. Alrighty. Alright. Well, that one. Now let's go ahead and add a couple of ships. We'll add a couple right in here. Just something that looks vaguely ship-like. It's going to be pretty small. Watch, I'll paint over this and forget completely about it. Where's the camera? There. I'll paint over that and forget all about it. But I had one coming in this way. And actually, this is one of my first times that I did sort of my classic Chris Dahl cruciform ship of some kind. It's not patented, it's just kind of where I go with my stuff. All right. All right. I think we got some good stuff. I'm not going to worry too much about the detailing of this. I just know kind of generally where the things are, and that will help me. Watch the newer movies and just want to say no to all... People are always awful to them in those movies. Oh, the newer movies. You're referring to the Apes movies, right? I honestly haven't seen too many of the newer Apes movies. All right. How do I want to approach this now? Let's get some paint, shall we? Okay. There will be for the background. I kind of want to go with some purple tones that get to what we would expect to be a black of space, and we're gonna bring it down to sort of magenta and orange if we can. So that'll be the background. I'm gonna do the background separately from this. I want to get some details on this first. Okay, let's get some paint. Since I use glass, just basically plates of glass, right, for my paint. And usually I don't put it straight on the work I'm going to do, but since this is clean and has no paint on it, I'll mix up the first batch of paint right here. I think they're fantastically made movies, at least better than what most people expect. You know, I haven't been avoiding them. They actually look amazing. So thank you for the recommendation. Okay, so I've got a Shiva Deep Blue Phthalo. Let's get a little alizarin crimson for this one. I usually use what they call rose red, which is more of a quinacridone crimson, but I want this a little grayer. We got our white. And I think I'm going to need let's get a little, let me see if I got some yellow ochre here. What I like to kind of do is if I know I'm going for a blue tone, I keep the yellows and reds handy to bring down the saturation. Thank you. One of the things I have worked on, oh yeah, living on the edge, right? Yeah. One of sort of my meta lessons I've been giving myself over the last couple of years regarding painting is, sort of the muddy colors approach, which is really the key to most realistic paintings. I've been working in very saturated colors, mainly to explore color relationships. Really, since I started the live stream, I was already kind of in the midst of a sort of the color exploration and such. But you'll notice a lot of my live stream paintings are very bright and very vibrant, and that's kind of by design. Whoops! I thought the series was going to drop off a cliff after the second or third movie, but they're still good. They're exploring a fun area that I enjoyed from the old movies, right? That sort of conquest of the Planet of the Apes. What was the genesis of the whole thing, right? So that to me was very fascinating, and they're clearly going in with more depth, I think, than I would have expected, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little touch of both. This paint's not bad. It's a little older, but it's held up pretty well. We're gonna get a little touch of the magenta in here, a little touch of our yellow. This will take some of the sting off that blue, because phthalo blues, as many of you know, are very, very hot colors. What's the stuff I've been watching? Oh, so, okay. While I'm mixing paint, what's Chris Dahl watching this week? Hey, Tubi, the Tubi channel, which is, you know, basically free. There's some good stuff on there. It's a lot like going into a 1980s era video store and finding the worst stuff. I'm just darkening this up a little bit with hopefully the same relationship. Oh. There's a wonderful documentary on the Church of the Subgenius, which was a crazy little fake cult that occurred in the 80s. 70s and 80s, I guess? Yeah. I was fortunate enough to be a part of that. Not part of it, but aware of that when it happened. So, alright, so we got a good mid-tone. The only issue with the new run's not released is they're going to have a time jump with the original series. Oh yeah, very good. Hey, we got Alias in the house. How you doing, Alias and Max, I presume. Yeah. So the Church of the Subgenius gets my the documentary that is on Tubi gets a thumbs up from me. It's crazy and hilarious, crazy and hilarious. Which, believe me, we all need this right now. Okay. Good. So now I've got a nice combination. I've got some dark here, and I've got a little lighter. I think we can work with this, but I am gonna get a little bit more white just in case. Oh, it's just you. Okay, cool. God, heck with Max. Hilarious. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do some. Let me grab my brushes. My old live stream brushes. I think for this one we are gonna crank out a brand new of my, you know, liner brushes. There we go. Let's just see here. Oh, it's got one extra hair sitting on the side. Here, hang on a second. I'm gonna have to take care of that. Hold on. Bear with me, folks. All right. I like to abuse these brushes. Yeah, okay. Poor Max. Max is getting no representation here. He'll never speak to us again. All right, there we go. Sometimes you get a new brush there. They're a little hairy. You know, and not in a good way. All right. I usually like when you place your saturated colors, it makes your ships look striking and awesome. Thank you. Cool. I enjoy them too. I still do that. But I'm just trying to take the edge off a bit. Elias says, I spent 3 hours cleaning your old apartment and now you have mac and cheese. That is the best. All right, let's move this thing off to the side here. I know it's going to be out of view of the camera. Unfortunately, I still do not have my palette cam back. It died. The poor thing died. All right. No. I love the... Okay, you saw that. Yeah, the pop off the canvas. Yeah, there we go. Very cool. Here we are. So I'm going to just try to get in some of these details in here. I like this. Yeah, this tone's good. It's like... It's not overly gray. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. We'll just... I want to get in the colors here, because if I get the background going, we're gonna have a tough time. So yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I'd forgotten. This paint is such a joy. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Hey, thank you everyone, by the way, for having the patience to stick with me on this. I know I didn't make it on last week. Like I said, I'm kind of getting I'm getting caught up in my projects here, and that sometimes leads to a little backing up of things. Plus, you know. It's so much fun this time of year, isn't it? Oh, yes. So yeah, no worries. We will continue having vibrant spaceships. I promise you. I do like doing that. I do. I'm just practicing and learning. Just to increase my range. Right. That's the goal with trying out some of the techniques that a lot of realist painters use for color and color theory. And I'm finding as I kind of dive into the world of bringing the colors to more realistic tones, you can still have that dynamic range, right? Hmm. Yeah, it's all like music, like we're listening right now, whatever this is. And we'll also always have the dynamic, nice bright colors in the in our backgrounds. But it's funny when I mix this color, it looked brighter to me on the palette than it does here, which is very interesting. All right. This it, it this paint is pretty thick. I work it down to more of a not quite ink consistency, but definitely to a thinner viscosity than a lot of the when I'm working on acrylics, and that's by design. This is also why I can use it on this kind of stuff. Oh, I should probably do the top up here. Yeah, let's get this. I'm imagining the light is coming in kind of, this way. So actually, in theory, this side should also be, there should probably be like a shadow line like this. I think. Yeah, I didn't really plot the shadows, but we'll leave that so I know exactly what I'm dealing with. There we go. Yep, we'll get there. Well, I hope everybody else's week is going okay, in spite of all of this. Yo. Yeah, I just felt like I really just kind of needed to come in and paint, right? That was the goal tonight. Right. The original is a white ship, so no need for saturated colors anyway. Exactly. And I'm kind of not going to do exactly that, Cameron. I want to bring the colors into sort of we'll see. It won't be the white ship. That's sort of the inspirational. Yeah, that was the inspiration ship, if you will. But what I'm basically trying to do is paint in all of what I think the shadow areas would be. So, this is very similar to inking a comic book, right? So if you were inking shadow zones and stuff, that's basically what this would be. This stage. There we go. But yeah, I always like that ship, and there's not a lot of information on it. I think it was, I don't think it was CG. I think they actually made a model. It was before they had switched, I think it was before Industrial Light and Magic had switched entirely over to CG for a lot of that stuff. But in fact, I think I remember seeing a photo of that model. We're talking about the 2001 Planet of the Apes movie. At the very beginning, there's some kind of human space station ship there. That was the thing that I got for this. Okay. Oh yeah, and I've taken I'm doing another thing, a different thing in my studio here. I think if you remember, I used to use a lot of paper towels, but we had so many of these things laying around from all the years at the shop and at the bakery that this time I am just going in and we're reusing shop towels, and I'm liking it a lot better than the paper towels. They work longer and they work better. In fact, I kind of half painted my last painting entirely with those. Seems to me a white ship would be extremely impractical, would consistently need washed. Yeah. Not to mention, pretty much anything that goes into space white will very rapidly turn a shade of yellowish, whatever, due to ultraviolet exposure. Unless you're in deep space, of course. But then you get the whole, you're cooking off plastics and oxidizing materials, metals, half the day, and then freezing them the other, well, not even the whole day. A planet in orbit is basically going to be hot and cold every, 45 minutes. Way too hot, way too cold. No! Okay. They had a more methodological approach. Yes. All right, let me see if I can get in some details in here. I do like a new liner brush. This poor thing doesn't realize what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna abuse the crap out of it, I swear. It doesn't even know. It'll never know. Oh yeah, and Casein also has a pretty fast, initial drawing time. It will be somewhat reworkable within the first, couple of hours, but then it sets up pretty well. All right. I would go olive green with some yellow highlights, but that's just me. Ooh, I actually kind of like olive green. Honestly, Jean-Marc, that gets into some real cool, the Chris Foss, sort of vibe, where all of his ships are these striking colors. That is super cool stuff, and I am a fan. So who knows? Who knows where we will go? Oh, this side needs to be dealt with as well. Whoop! Give him all paint. Yeah, sometimes I'll do that too, where I will absolutely just be like, okay, we are doing a colored ship, and then it freaks me out because I'm struggling. Like, all right, well, what were the compliments to maroon again? Or it's funny what catches you up, which is also a good reason to not paint with the same colors all the time. Okay, we're gonna make this ship the same basic color scheme, but the other ones I'm gonna do a little differently. Okay, where did my thing go? I'm just mixing up some paint on the side here, folks. Bear with me. I'm trying to get a golden version of what I was just doing. And oh, I got it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Woohoo! I like it when a plan comes together. All right, hang on. Oh, getting some spots on here. I don't want my paper to get that cold there. Oh, yeah, here we go. The drink tonight is water. And it's all over me. No, no one would attack that ship. They would say, nope, not that one, but the crazies. We chose that color, and then go on to the next one. Yeah, not only that, but it's like practically hugging you, right? So it's like one of those psychotic, come to me. I shall help you. We are safe. Yeah, we're gonna skip that one. We're gonna go to the station that actually does look like a military station, right? You know. Elsa. Okay. Oh, it's really fun. I have kind of a, like, not really sepia, but sort of a muddied down yellow here, and it's mixing with my it's mixing with the blue. It's mixing with the blue pencil that's already on the canvas. So I guess what? We're getting your green ship. Come on. Got the brush too overloaded. That's okay. And remember, I'm just kind of doing the dark spots on this thing. So let's get it in here. We make it go. Yeah. We make it go. You know, kudos to the lower decks crew for making the Packlids even freakier than they were. I can appreciate people that, you know, take some humor that's already gone right up to the edge and then just pushing it over. Just sending it right into oblivion, right? Like, ha ha! You did not count on me! Ha ha ha! I'm crazier than you are by a lot! And you know, I will add some excitement to these ships. You have my word. We are just getting the base colors in. Thank you. Go. All right. I keep getting stuff on my canvas, but all right. It's also easier to clean off these brushes when they're smaller like that. So yay! All right, let's get my darker. I want a little bit more of this to it. There we go. So another thing I've been avoiding a lot in my paintings in the last few years, probably since the live stream started, is even though I have, where is it? You know, I have ivory black, but instead, I'm actually just going to use my, where are those? Go figure, I can't find it. Basically, for my black, you know, you just mix your blue, red, and your magenta. Cyan, yellow, magenta, just like the printing folks do. And then you get a real nice color that hasn't gone to 11 in terms of the darkness, right? So that helps a lot. Space station that have Battlestar Galactica heads on it. Yeah. Just one Galactica on each end, right? That would like World of Warships. All right, let me get in here. Oh man, is that another cat hair? I gotta tell you, we get cat hair everywhere. Shocker, right? See, this is a plenty dark. This will operate quite nicely as our black. And I definitely had a few places where I want it. Greetings from the Sunnyburg of Oregon City, Oregon. Hello, Mark. How you doing tonight? Good to see you here. Awesome. Hey, Andrew McDonald, greetings. No, we have no cats. What are you talking about? Cats? No, no, nope, no. I would cough and like, a powdered ball of cat hair is gonna fly out. That's super weird. All right, cool. Sorry, I just saw something very strange. How you doing tonight, Andrew? Hey, good to see you tonight. Welcome to Milliways, the restaurant at the end of the universe. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember our cat count when you stopped last time, Andrew. I know we had like a shit ton, right? So, because that's basically the way our lives have been. But yeah, that was pretty funny. That was really cool having you over too. I was very thrilled to be able to make somebody cheeseburgers. So yes, good times. We're gonna give this a little fun detail in here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, good. Finally finished moving in. Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, there was at least a dozen. Oh, cool. Yeah. It's we're up to 20 now. Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. Oh my god. The Olympic diner sketch. Oh, that's just the best. No no Coke, just Pepsi. There we go. We actually did just trap another male from our backyard, and he just had his little trip to the vet, so he's doing good, and we're keeping him handy and just hanging out. He will not be contributing to the population of our cats anytime soon, ever again. So that's good. No more kitties. He's as my dad would say, he's no longer practicing. He's just a consultant. Really friendly, not friendly, not human friendly anyway, but a really nice orange kitty. I don't think he knows much about humans and doesn't think much of us. Who can blame him? Anyway, sorry. Alrighty. We get too crazy in here. Yeah, this is fun. I haven't done a painting like this in a while, folks. So thanks for humoring me, and thanks for hanging out. We have gophers in our yard, trying to get the dogs to go after them. Well, the dogs just have to understand that they're delicious gophers, and then they'll be happy to go after them. Hey guys, I hear they're good. Just hey, Andrew, start leaving gopher cookbooks written in dog around the house, and they'll be like, hey, we really gotta do this. Yep. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents, right, people? Are we making this a close proximity to a planet space station? Deep space. We are going to be, okay, maybe not entirely deep space. Maybe this is in system, but like this will be at a Lagrange point. Instead of it being like directly in orbit around a planet, like if you saw a planet, it would be tiny. It would be very far away. So far orbit. Maybe that's what I'll call it. Lagrange 5. Wait, that's a book that my friend Mark Woods left me. And it's a terrible book. By Mac Reynolds, Lagrange 5. Or Lagrange, as the case might be. Yeah. The emergency gas station, right? Exactly. And it says, you need to get a terrier or a beagle. Yeah, how are the gophers standard gopher size, or are they like, they're not like monster gophers or something, right? I mean, they're like terrier and beagle would tear them up just fine, I think, I'm sure, right? Oh, I need some detail on the underside here, so let's get some in here. This is my first pass at greebling the station a little bit, just giving it some, Moonbase Alpha style ceiling tiles or something. I have to keep looking over the chat. Sorry. Yeah, there's little desert gophers. Okay, cool, cool. That's my idea. Orbital services station for satellites. You know, it would make the most sense, right? Like, someplace out in the solar system, you're sending hunks of water ice back, and then your space station for orbiting satellites processes it into fuel and refuels stuff that comes up from the ground. You know, totally would make sense. There's a lot of opportunity for that sort of thing. Absolutely. And you know, that's kind of how you get your frontier Wild West space colonies started, because you need people to run those things. So yeah. Or bots. I don't care. Automation, that's fine too. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a wash over the light parts right here. But I want to make sure I have some of these dark areas in. There we go. So this is definitely like, hey, space station. We're on the Lido deck over here, right? Or sorry, Deep Space Nine. It says promenade. And what was it again in Babylon 5? The what they call it? The Zocalo. Yes. Well, they had all sorts of. Babylon 5 was huge. Now it's all AI now. Yeah. Would you like gas for your satellite? At least give your AI some character, right? Make it look like John Candy, the robot from Heavy Metal. You know, that sort of thing. Okay. Enough of that. There we are. Heck yeah. I was like the image of ore mining haulers, like in EVE Online. Yep. And even The Expanse has a lot of that. You know, remember the Canterbury? That was actually really cool. It'll probably be an asteroid belt mining colony station. You know, it's funny how often the asteroid belters come up in science fiction. The Expanse certainly wasn't the first. It really feels like that's the sort of thing that could actually, like, be a real economic force in the future space solar system thing economy. Anyone that gets out there and gets an operation going, you're gonna make a mint. That'll be like generational money, right? Okay. Let's get some details on these guys while we're at it. Wes says, oh, you found Jason of Star Command on YouTube. Oh my god, that's awesome. Was it bad? Did you think it was bad? Yeah. Oh no, that's so sad. You know, I remember being, I think I had just crossed that threshold where those Saturday morning live action children's shows were like watchable. I was like, but I know it's by the same people that work on all the sci-fi shows, and it was. I'm in it for the ships, but oh my god, the stories are so bad, it's terrible. But it was better than going out and mowing the lawn. Sorry, Dad. Wait, I really have to watch Jason of Star Command. Oh wait, it was punishment. I should have gone out and mowed the lawn. No. Yeah, it's really weird, right? I mean, you get a show like Jason Star Command, and it's kind of, yeah. There was definitely a mentality in the 70s that, you know, only kids, like really young kids, would want to watch sci-fi. And I was a really young kid, but, you know, I wanted the stuff that made you think, right? Or just blow shit up. That, you know, that would have done the job too. Like, who am I kidding? Like, either blow shit up Get out of my way. I didn't realize that they use the exact same music and sound effects from the Star Trek animated series. Yeah, they had all the rights to it. It wasn't actually, Star Trek music. They reused that, Wes, in so many shows. Like, they used it in the Flash Gordon one that Filmation did, too. At least you got paid to mow the lawn. Yeah, that's true. They fed me. No, that was part of the deal. That was pretty funny. Oh, wait, I missed Cameron's. Capitalism in space reigns supreme. Seriously. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I got a little bit down here. I can recreate all of these colors, so I'm not too terribly worried. There we go. Just want to get a couple of dots in there and that. All right. I'm going to temporarily retire my little brush. It has done well, actually. All right. You had such a crush on Isis. Yeah. Oh, she was fantastic. That was really cool. Oh, the Shazam show. I was big on that. And Land of the Lost. Oh, that was it. Yeah, Land of the Lost. For whatever reason, the actress Kathy Coleman. She was like one of my first Saturday morning crushes. She was adorable. And actually in Seattle at Galacticon 2013, I think it was, I actually met her, and she was super cool. That was a lot of fun. Gave me a big hug. I told her how, yeah, oh my God, the whole block would watch your show. You know, that was a thing. She was awesome. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break, everybody. Gonna be right back and let this set up a little bit, and we're gonna move on to the background, which is gonna bring it together. So yeah, don't go away. Hang tight. Up from the ears. Okay, here we go. I guess a king or dictator could run a mining belt effectively too, maybe. Maybe we'll find out. No. Or not. Yeah, kings or dictators. I don't think they last too long. We'll see. We'll see! Hey, thanks for sticking around with us tonight, everybody. I appreciate you dropping by. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome aboard. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. I hate doing that, but you know what? You gotta say it. I appreciate it. We're getting there. I gave my Patreon folks a little update. And by the way, if you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I got a link in the description. I'm sharing all the stories of kind of the projects as they're going, when I can get them when I can kind of get them uploaded and stuff. So yeah, it's a good time. But I'm accumulating. I'm just cleaning this off as I'm talking. I am accumulating video footage of projects, and I'm editing them together as discrete videos, so that I have a nice backlog. I really want to have like 4 of them done so that I can really get into a rhythm, if you will. Just cleaning off my palette here. Hang tight. If I'm in a situation where I have to shoot a video a week and upload it, I know what's going to happen. It's just not going to happen is what's going to happen. What it'll be. So I'm getting a couple of finished ones together. Everyone on Patreon's going to get to see them before I release them on YouTube. In fact, you'll probably get to see a cut, which is fun. Yeah, smash the like button, 2019 style. Cameron says, oh, I think a spaceship based off a Pandorum station would be fun. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. You know, I actually have to watch that again. I haven't seen Pandorum in a while. That might be on Tubi as well. Anyway, so the videos, I grew up with a lot of Monty Python, folks. So Monty Python and the, just... we've got an edge behind the scenes videos. I'm doing those too. Yes, absolutely. And I've been promising the podcast. That's just been so many things, so many irons in the fire. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, it's gonna be crazy. I'm taking the time to dive back to the skills I learned when I was shooting movies way back. So I'm trying to up the game a little bit instead of it just kind of being like, here's a model. Maybe a little crazier than that. All right. You're all set. Okay, cool. Thanks, Andrew. I've been, oh my gosh. I kind of got a little bogged down with a couple of the projects and, yeah, things. All right. So I'm going to use my glass and this is weird. I've cleaned it all off. I'm not going to smudge anything because these are just kind of the basic lines. So, let's get ourselves a background color, shall we? Yeah. And honestly, I want to do the same thing with the podcast, too. Line up a few of them so we can get them going. Join the... I know. That's the biggest struggle for me, right? In terms of working for yourself, it's not just time. You can say it's time management, everything like that. But in a lot of cases, it feels like every project I take has a different time energy requirement to it. I'm not a machine. None of us are. So yeah, that's been, we're getting there. We're figuring it out, people. All right. Okay, so I'm going to be using this, whatever they call Shiva Violet. It's a great violet, and I'm going to want a bunch of it. So I'm going to put that out. Out of the tube, way too dark. And what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Not a lot, but I want it on the palette. And I'm going to de-edge the flavor of this by adding some more of my yellow ochre. I start a new project every day. Oh my gosh. I hear you there, Andrew. I had a couple of weeks there where I was going through my model boxes, and I swear, every model I touch, I'm like, I want to build this one. I want to build this one. You're just screaming in the back of my head, right? But no, you cannot, Chris. You cannot pull out 300 models and work on them all at once. But it's cool. Anyway. Oh, hey, Andrew, 81 Designs, oil or acrylic. Hey, welcome aboard. And neither. This is Casein. So Casein's kind of like gouache. So it's water-based. As you can see, it's a little thick here, right? So it has the thickness of a heavy body acrylic and or an oil paint. Actually, a little thinner than heavy bodies. Water soluble, but unlike gouache, when this dries, it gets a really nice hard finish. It's really cool. Awesome. A biological machine with limits is all we are. Well, that's just annoying. Although some weeks I'm I keep trying to push my limits on how little sleep can I actually get through. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of the yellow to it, a touch of the white, not a lot, just to bring it up a little bit. I want to knock the edge of this purple off, and if I'm not mistaken, this is enough of a complement to do it. I don't want to go orange. Actually, I probably should go more orange. Yeah, in fact... Thank you, cadmium orange. Yeah. Yeah, anytime, Andrew. Yeah, and you picked a good time, so I'm mixing up some colors now. I like to thin it down to like a... I like to thin it down for the detail painting. This I might not thin down as much, but I feel like this needs some orange to really get it where I need it to go. I don't want this purple to be very punchy, right? Yeah, we're going to do all this orange. There we go. You know, that's the funny thing. I probably don't have enough now. All right, let's get this in here. Let's move this in here, and let's just see what we come up with. All right. I find 5 to be optimal. 5 projects. Oh yeah, you know, having multiples at once is not inherently bad, right? In fact, I think some of you saw the painting I just released this week. The only reason that painting exists is because I was working on an oil painting that, you know, when you're working on an oil painting, you get to a certain stage, you have to let that thing sit. And I would be in the midst of painting, and I'm like, I'm not going to switch gears, right? So I had my oil painting set up on one easel, and then on another easel altogether, I had my acrylic station set up. So I was just jamming on a fun painting. No, it wasn't one of my projects, but it was kind of a test painting, right? All right, let me see what's happening here. I'm going to add a little bit of white. I'm sorry, this is taking me forever to do this. No, this is good. I like where this is going. Okay, cool. I added just a little bit of white just to check that out. I think we're going to be closer to the dark side. The dark side. But I'm going to leave some white on here just in case. All right. Because we're going to make use of both of those. Very cool. 5 hours, I can pretend I need to multitask however my brain explodes. Yeah. It's pretty fun. You can get into it. Sometimes you're in the mood and you can handle it, and sometimes your brain says no. I found a few of your videos recently. It's nice to catch you live. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. I've been a little remiss on my live stream, so I'm glad you're able to come in and check it out. Yeah, I've been struggling with the new studio to get back onto a regular live stream schedule. So thank you everyone for hanging out and having some patience with me on this. Okay. Tamara says, ideally with art, I have like 3 of my current and 2 that I let dry and switch. Yes. Yeah, see, that's cool too. I do kind of like that that option, right? And yeah, of course I do the same thing with the models as well. But the one thing that's killing me is I sit down to work on something and I forget I've got to set my camera up so I can shoot the footage. So we're gonna work on some of that. Okay, while everything here in this painting is kind of leaning this way, I'm gonna do a sort of brief nebula stream on this side with the lighter color I just mixed. So I'm going to put this down. I've got it thinned down a bit. I don't want to go too crazy here. Whoop. Had some cadmium paint on my thing here. Yes, and people, please go easy on the pigments when you're working with cadmiums and cobalts and stuff. Don't lick your paintbrush. Whatever you do, you might be tempted. I would say don't do it. All right, I'm using a flat brush here. And what I just want to do is, the flat brush was mainly so I could get around these edges and get a nice line. And then we need a little bit in here. And I typically work with the biggest brush. Usually I work with the biggest brush as I can when I'm doing this stage. And often I do this stage before I do in the details that I just did. So, you know, you kind of, don't feel free to change it up I guess is where I'm going with that. Bum ba-dum. I have a never finish syndrome, but I like starting love starting cool things. Easy to do. Yeah, I get a little caught up in that, and then I kind of forget, that, hey, by the way, you got a finish, Mr. Doll. So yeah, I'm a victim of my own distraction, unfortunately. All right. Fortunately, I could be canceled, but I can't be fired. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm liking these tones. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna get the old brush cleaned up here a little bit, and we're gonna get into the darker tones. There we go. And I don't mind letting this kind of mix a little bit. You don't have a lot of working time with Casein. It's a very it's also a pretty opaque medium. I have to say that. You're not going to get it's actually a little tougher to get like a glaze with Casein, I think, from my experience with it, although it can be done. You can certainly you can thin it down and it acts like watercolor. So if you like really soak this thing down in with your water, yeah, you could do like watercolor washes and that sort of thing. So yeah. I might even add some blue to this at some point, now that I'm looking at it. We'll see. Okay. Need some more water. But I just want to get the... There. Here I am being careful with my station and my ships. And I don't mind if there's a variation. You can kind of see a little bit. That gets into happy accident territory, right? Usually it'll be a few months later, and I'll find out what I was working on with a fresh mind, and I'll be, that looks freaking sweet, and start all over again. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. One of the paintings that I had in storage from the move just came out of storage like in December, and I hadn't finished it yet, and I was like, oh. I was like, I've got to finish it and put it in my show. Absolutely. And I did. I was very happy with it. I didn't really go to the full lengths I was going to go, but I was still pretty happy with the painting. Okay. So, I'm going to do some... we're going to have another color coming up from the bottom here. So I kind of want to come in and be a little artistic with this. As if we're in a nebula situation, because that's my jam, folks. Okay. I know I've got some spaces in here, but I'm not going to do that with the wide brush. Not on your life. Cameron says the purples look nice. Cool. Were you planning on a glaze or leave it close to how it looks now? The purple actually does look really nice for the current ship. I was actually going to go with this purple, but I might adjust corners of it. But I'm going to see what it looks like when I get it down first. I'm digging it too. You know, it still has some saturation, right? And that's what I wanted. I just didn't want it quite as bright as it was, kind of straight out. So we'll just go with it and make some adjustments if necessary. I think I got to get around this ship nicely too, so we'll do that right now as best we can here. But it's also important that you don't make it look like you just basically went all the way around your shape with a with one of these. There we go. believe it or not, I actually kind of wanted to do something of an orange glow coming up, but that may be a little too striking, a little too crazy. We'll just kind of see where it takes us. And actually, I can pull that off here. So I might just, I have enough paint. Let me just see where I go with it. But this stuff really is a dream to work with. I forget how much I really absolutely love Casein. I am going to get paint strokes in here, but yeah, that's just going to be par for the course, right? The only thing that's a little strange about this paint is it doesn't you can varnish these. I've seen many varnished Casein paintings, but it's a little tricky to do because it remains porous. Like water will go through the dried Casein and then get sucked right into the underlying material. I used to gesso these boards before I would paint with them on the live stream, but I've just since lost doing that. Something about kind of about how that works. It wasn't my favorite. So yeah. At first I was wondering if the ship was going to do a suicide ram. Yeah. Now I'm kind of thinking it's just sort of approaching, right? So this one's coming in. It probably, maybe there's like a circle of, an approach circle. Air traffic control. Come in. All right. Yeah, bring it in. To the left. To the left, Sergey. Right. All right. No, don't run into the other one. We want to avoid that. All right. Now, I will say this much: one of the kind of weird downfalls of Casein is that it, as it dries, it's a little. You might be able to see it. It gets a little patchy. There's no need for air traffic. You don't need any of that shit. Just stop stumping on my freedom. Perspective of a station that big would be deceiving at this angle for the small ship. That's true. That's true. Yep. Yeah. So I like playing with the. I like playing with the perspective a little bit. You can use the rules of perspective and break them as necessary for whatever you're trying to achieve. But it's important to learn the rules and then learn how to break them. Exactly. Nope, your other left, right? Yeah. Woke. Jesus. Sorry. All right. I've avowed I won't go too far down this rabbit hole because I'll turn into David Lynch, I swear, or Bill Hicks. Oh yes, Saint Bill Hicks. There we go. Let's get that in there. Let's get one in there. Kind of get that around. There we go. A little bit around this guy. Yeah, I gotta finish this one up around this guy. There we go. All right. Yeah. Cool. Now, I have, let me see here, Permasol blue. Bill Hicks, yes. St. Bill, the, I'm going to try something else here while I'm messing with this and see if I can get a slightly different color for the top. I'm sorry, I'm not mixing it right here on camera. At this point, everything's so messy, I would be having a real problem. So I'm going to just mix on the side, and we'll call it from there, right? Okay. There we go. Oh, that's actually kind of fun. Ah! I swear, every week, too, I'm trying different things with the damn microphone position, and right now it's in my way. It's much easier to use perspective on Earth with atmospheric perspective, but space, I'm not good with how to pull that off. Yeah, same principles apply, right? But what you're calling atmospheric perspective, you know, where you recede the lightness and the saturation of colors over distance, right? Because of atmosphere. You can do that if you're painting, you know, like if this ship is in a nebula, you can kind of get away with that. Also, even though scientifically that wouldn't necessarily be the case, think of it in terms of your viewer. Whoever's viewing this scene in your painting is probably either using a camera or their eyes, and over distance you will get visual artifacts like you know, blurring, you know, things won't be as sharp at distance regardless of how good your telescope is, and you know, things like that. So that's one of those cases where you can certainly cheat with your. Oh, there goes my music. I'm gonna start it right from the top again. There we go. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-boo. So you can get away with that kind of thing a little bit, as long as you don't kind of make it look like, you know, you're doing a mountain scene, and everything kind of recedes off like in the Grand Canyon. That sort of thing probably won't happen as much. Anyway, okay, so I got a little darker color here, and I am kicking around the edges of my purple. I took the same purple, added another blue, and more of the crimson. So we're gonna have a little visual interest in the background a little bit. Bum, bum, bum. We need the military seized version of this, loaded with every weapon in the arsenal. What are you planning on doing there, sir? No. Oh, hey, mediocre modeler, how you doing tonight? Hey, I tried your Starflick brush thing. Only thing I accomplished was painting my finger. That happens a lot. My poor microphone here has been spattered. Let's put it this way. I have stars painted on stuff all over this place that you wouldn't believe. Hey, but it's fun to try out. So I'm glad you took the chance. That's really cool. I'm about ready to use it on a model, and it's not going to be stars, but it's going to be the same principle. So, yay! Oh boy. Now, welcome aboard tonight. Hope everything's going well for you. Seriously. We can probably use it for space. Our eyes are used to it, so it probably won't feel too out of place. Let's take it exactly. You know, you have you're in control of the scene, so you can use those same tools to your advantage regardless. And that's kind of the approach I've seen for, well, you know, you get a little bit of it. Ralph McQuarrie would do a little bit of this. Like what he definitely treated his background ships with a slightly different color depending on the scene, and reducing the complexity of the visual detail. That both of those will work really well to do that. All right, now I'm gonna need a little cloudiness in here. There we go. I'm gonna break up this stream of nebulosity here a little bit. I sometimes think that my backgrounds on these scenes get a little more complicated than they need to be visually, and I'm gonna try to eliminate that a little bit. But I definitely wanted the effect there. And we hope that it'll just pull together. There we go. All right. Wow, that's actually kind of fun. We're kind of getting someplace, people. Hey, I'm kind of getting somewhere. I'm darkening up this part of it because I kind of feel like I'm taking away from the ships by having too much of this, and I don't really know what I'm going to do over there. But I was thinking of some oranges and reds. Hey, take care, Andrew. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm never sure how dark to do shadows on ships in space either. I tend to over the darkness. Oh, yeah. This gray right here that I'm doing is probably like a 30-40% gray, maybe, with the blue tint to it. That's a really good start, especially if you're trying to emulate like that ILM effect of spacecraft in the movies. I used to make that same mistake too. I would you can make them very dark and highly contrasted. That looks very NASA-like and very realistic, right? You're not going to get a lot of reflected light, but a lot of times I'm painting these things as if they're in a nebula someplace where you would actually get some you would get a little reflected light in. The nice thing about doing this is if I want to come in and darken these shadows, like right now, I think like maybe they're going to be competing a little bit with the background. I might darken some spots in here. Now you haven't gone too far. Now you've at least gotten the information in place that you need, and you don't have to worry quite as much about, about that. So, yeah. Whew. This particular painting is going to be taking a bit. I need water. Crap. I need to get my other water. Hang tight. It's across the way. But yeah, and that's the sort of thing you can play with too. I can't reach the water. Okay, there we go. It was across the room. Different glass. So. What I also like doing is taking photos of my painting and looking at them, but right now I can look at my monitor for the live stream and look over at it. In fact, if I turn my head off, I can see the whole darn thing. So now I can actually address this, and it's not my eyes looking at it. I know it's weird. It's actually this camera pointing straight up. It's a real nice way to get another perspective on it without just, standing up and picking the thing up and everything. So yeah. That helps a lot too. I'm thinking, however, that I kind of want to go. Let's look this over here. Oops. And where's my cadmium pale? Rose red. Ooh, I should stick more with the rose red. Let's should stick with that. A cooler background. What do you think, folks? I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be like a flare of color. I think that's where we're going to go with it. Okay. Awesome. Let me get my things here. Cleaning up some space on the old palette. Off to the side. Get some orange and some reds and some rose red. There we go. I think I have another I have another cadmium orange. That's cool too. This might be shocking to the scene, but I'm okay with that. Warm fuzzy color. I think we need some warm fuzzy colors, Rhonda. I mean, that's kind of my jam, right? All right. I know it's yours. I'm gonna use a flat brush. A little thinner flat brush, and I am going to get in some I'm almost going to take this straight. Let's just do it. We're committing. So this is my rose red. This is a this is like a magenta. It's like quinacridone magenta is what it is. I want to get some down. And then I kind of want to come in with this. For this scene, I really want to... Oh, man, that is way bright. That's cool. And this is where I want to make use of the paint at its highest, at its thickest, if you will, so that I can get these brush strokes to work for me. Like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Whoops. Maybe a little bit of this. A little bit there. There we go. Bum, bum. All right, let me try a little bit of cadmium orange for it, just for fun. More than that. Cool. Oh, yeah. That's where we wanted to be. I pulled out way too much of this. But the cool thing is, now I've got, yeah, I'm just going to rinse this brush out later. Oh, yeah. If you decide to try out Casein, whatever you do, make sure you take that day or after you paint and wash out your brushes. You will be hating life if you don't. Yo. So now I've got a little bit of the medium red here, and I want to come in and kind of do one of these. Oh, too thick. Because now I've introduced another color, not just the purples, which will be affecting the station, but now we have this indication of, you know, this red back here, if you will. So we're gonna backlight the station with my cadmium red light. So getting to the discussion about, you know, making your stations kind of step out or your spacecraft from, you know, kind of sing a little bit color wise. This is where I wanted to end up using the color on this scene. It's kind of this kind of stuff. So we'll have fun with it. Just a little bit as we get on over there. All right, and then back along here. And this goes a long way towards helping your scene look a little less flat, I guess you could say. It's maybe a cheat, if you will, a little bit, but you know, it's gonna help. It's gonna help make everything read properly. Ah, the warmth looks so good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of digging it too, actually. I think this is what we needed to go. That. Okay. I have another place I want to use these colors. Oh, need some more water. I'm going to use the same brush for this, although I shouldn't. Wait. Hang on. Hold that thought, brush. Yep. I'm going to use my filbert for this instead. All right, there we go. So they basically, I think I was touching on the question about doing shadows on spaceships, right? This was something I developed on the live stream, a technique where I like to paint in the shapes from your ship, whatever your ship happens to be, right? And but just work the shadows first so you can control basically how dark they are. All right, that's really what I wanted to do there for those guys. Like, the reality is these guys are probably decelerating with engine fires like this. So, yeah. Time for a nice blurple splot. Yeah, exactly. We'll get it. Let's see. So I want those just kind of doing that thing. I want this and this thing over there. Okay, cool. Cool. What do I want to go next? I could go into the station. That may be the next thing I need to do. Okay, let's do that. Where's my white? Where's my white and my... Oh no, I just made an awful gray. No, that's not so cool. Let me grab some more of this. Ah! I'm mixing up I'm trying to mix up a very light blue, and I keep ending up getting it purple. That's okay. We'll do that too. We can work with that. Okay. We'll just go with that. Whoops. Clean up the brush. Let's see how this works out for us. You're never required to listen to my suggestions, I promise. Yeah, I'm pretty much just going on my own here. No worries. Nothing. No offense will be taken, I promise. So I am gonna try to do this as something of a wash, but there's a lot of titanium white in this paint, so it's gonna be a little. Probably gonna come right over. Yeah, see, it's gonna really gonna affect this, but that's working. I'm gonna try to. I'll try to retain like the highlights as much as possible. Continuing through here. Yeah, this. Lighter. I've actually watered this down pretty much. The goal for this is going to be, I really want to eliminate all the white that I can, the white of the paper, with the exception of maybe just a few bits. And this is where you kind of start sculpting it with your paint, so to speak. And you got to make sure you leave it thin enough so you can still see what your details were, that sort of thing. Ah! But there's always a refinement phase to this too. So I just want to make sure I kind of get it set here. I've pretty much been staying. I mean, this purple has really been like the color tonight, right? Alrighty. Ah. Bunch of this out of my brush. There we go. Yeah, nice and thin. Nice and thin. There we are. Just a little bit on there. See, by the time I've gotten the whole station finished, I finally reached the point where I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to. And really, I could have come in with almost any color. I was considering coming in with a warmer color, but I thought, you know what? We're in purple. We're in a purple nebula. This purple is probably giving some amount of light on this thing. So yeah, let's just go all the way. Let's just do that. I'm just gonna. Yep, we're gonna go for it. Be brave. Be brave. Be brave. Be brave. Be brave. I do want that edge. That will be okay. I probably should have used the magenta where I used that, but that's okay. All right, we're getting that one together. Cleaning off the old brush. These guys, I got to do sort of the same thing to them. Let me see if I can do it with the same purple. For some of these illustrations, I do like treating them like a, almost like a comic book, right? Where you're limited palette, you can really make a lot of good choices in here. And I'm going to do the same thing I just did with the station, but I want to do it with the ship. I want to just basically remove all indication of the white. We're just going to fill this in. And this will help me sort of sculpt the ship as well. And as I'm getting in further into the painting here, I'm definitely getting to smaller and smaller brushes. Yo. this one. Bum, 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 bum. Whoa. Dun, dun. And actually, we can kind of start adding some of these details, like little bits of stuff. Uh-oh. I lost my camera. What happened? Sorry, folks. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That's really weird. Hang tight. Oh, yeah, my software died. Ah, no fun. Oh no. Camera affected by Well, shoot. Okay. Hang tight here. What am I gonna do? Is it just me, but the spaceship does not look the same at all? Well, you know, it's kind of sorry folks, this camera is way set differently than my regular camera. Is it weird that I read the backward sentence first? No, not at all. Oh no. Oh crap, it's telling me I gotta reboot. I gotta reboot? What? No, what happened? Oh, I should have. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay. Well, crap. I don't think I'm gonna get to finish this, but I can see the camera working. It's right up there. It's, you know, there. But yeah, sir, it was because your camera died. Yeah, it's weird. It's so my camera runs through Elgato software, and I swear that thing, like, so it runs through the software, then it goes to OBS, right? It runs through capture software is what it does. That way I can get a good quality signal. But I've noticed that software is a little strange. But it's the first time I've had when this happened. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to part 2 this, folks. I'm gonna have to like troubleshoot this a little bit. It may be easy or maybe not, but all right. Look, I feel like I got it to a good point on this one. I keep threatening to come back and finish it, but I'm gonna try to come back and finish this. So tomorrow or Friday, I'll figure this out and drop back on. Yeah, did I try? John Mark. Oh yes, yeah, I properly actuated the on-off button. Yeah, but unfortunately, I just happen to know that when this software dies like this, like it's got memory holes in it, so I can tell what's going on with my machine. I have to reboot my one machine that I'm using to make this thing work. So I'm gonna have to call it for right now. But I'm pretty happy with where we've gotten with this so far, right? I'm digging this. I'm digging this a lot. And, you know, let this dry up, and we'll come in and finish up all the detailing on it, which I'm very excited about this. I wish I'd gotten to the flinging of stars on it yet. Okay, so there we go. I'll post a photo of it in the Discord. Again, if you haven't checked out the Discord or interested in it, here goes. I'm gonna put that into the chat, and you're welcome to come aboard in there. I usually post all the paintings there afterwards, and yeah, I have no clue about IT. No, you pretty much do. You got the idea. Trust me. I was in something like IT, but you know, basically, I was in the engineering side of life. There, you're on it. Don't worry. Also, leaving it in the chat there, the link to my store. If you like what we're doing and you want a piece of space art on your wall, signed, made, original by Christopher Dahl, please feel free to drop in there. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff, and yeah. Discord does not like me at all. No, it's okay, Jean-Marc. I totally get it. But you're welcome to also drop in on the Patreon page. I've got a link in the description for that. I'm going to try to do more of the public posts on there. We'll see how that goes. Also, I'm reblogging on my main site. We're doing all the things. We're blogging, Patreoning, and YouTubing. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Alrighty, folks. Sorry about that, but that is also one of the things that is a regular occurrence on this live stream is the occasional technical details. That one troubles me. I was on a roll. Darn it. I must protest. I am not a merry man. Right. All right, folks. Keep an eye out. I'll post when I come back on to do this, but I think for now I'm going to sign off for the night. Go get some dinner and work on some of the other projects that I have going on. So, hey, thank you everyone for dropping in. It was great to see you all. I really appreciate the feedback and all the support, really. So, everybody, stay safe. Take care of your mental health in this time. Do the best you can. We'll get through this all together. I promise. But thank you. I'm gonna leave you with our standard outro. Catch you later. That's not the standard outro. That's the standard intro.
All right, so I've taken my white paint with my little fan brush here, and let's just see how crazy this goes. This is where I throw paint everywhere. That just kind of gives it an air of legitimacy that it doesn't deserve. You know?
I have Bob Ross the shit out of this painting.
Yeah.